Blow it, lady! You've resigned! And take your bloody NFTs with you!
It seems today that all you see is bouncing locomotives and stuff on TV. But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely? Lucky there's the tales of the rails. You're lucky there's a man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and wail. It's the tales of the Northwestern Rails.
It was late February on Sodor. The snowstorm finally dwindled. Gordon got out of his streamlined shell and went back to his regular express services, and arrived on time to see Royal Pioneer before his departure. After the snowstorm, some railway inspectors were doing their usual inspection when something caught their eye on the Ffarquhar Branch line. They had a chat with Sir Topham Hatt about the water troughs.
Mr. Topham, your railway is in good condition, although we've had a question regarding with your water throughs on the Ffarquhar Branch line.
Have you considered having some troughs along the main line?
It can make passengers and goods surface about 5% easier for your steam engine.
Sir Topham Hatt thought it was a great idea. So the first thing he did was to rally up Gordon, Henry, and Robin to the steamworks to have their tenders fitted with water scoops.
Sounds like that Random's bottom fellow knew what he was doing. I'm sure the troughs will run swingingly, considering that my run will be extended to Kirk Run and Harbour in the summer.
This will be a fun experience with the water scoops and troughs. I heard some wonders about it from the LMS.
You seem to know a lot about them. You were designed in LMS too.
Well, he wasn't always an LMS Stanier. He was a model of a rejected A1 Pacific design with a C1 boiler.
Right. Then he had his crash with the COPPA in 1951. I remember now.
I learned about the water troughs during my rebuild at Crew. You alright, Gordon? You seem disgruntled about something.
I just don't understand why we need these water troughs. I ran from Titnef to Barrowing Furnace just fine without them. Even my shortened run from Knapford to Vickerstown since 2011 has gone without a hitch.
Well, how do you know you'll hate it if you refuse to try it?
He's got a point. Just give it a chance.
Next, water troughs were laid along straight tracks on the main line between Kildane and Kelstrop Road. Because of the trials taking place during winter, the water troughs have to be emptied so the water doesn't freeze in them. And diesels would also have to be diverted onto lines without the troughs should they ever accidentally leak oil. When everything was set up, the trials commenced. Robin went first.
Phew! Refreshing!
Next came Henry. And finally was Gordon, who was still skeptical about the water troughs. After cruising over the troughs, he tried to pick up speed and not waste any more time.
Stating now, Gordon, we're not in a race.
All in all, the first day of the water troughs trial was a success. But Gordon's mood still hasn't changed when he arrived back at Tidmouth's sheds.
And here we have the six-legged antelope returning to its shelter for the night.
What are you going on about, James?
Haven't you heard what happened on the railway? Sir Topham Hatt has added some water troughs between Kildane and Kelstop Road, where steam engines can pick up water while on the run. If anything, it seems like as if we're animals drinking by a lake. Rather comical, if I'm honest.
Well, I don't find it comical. Sir Topham Hatt is just trying to make our lives easier for us.
She's right. If I ever had a train to take from the Ffarquhar Branch to Titmouth Harbour, the water troughs will work wonders for me. Anywho, how was your trails with the water troughs, Gordon?
It was decent, but I still think these troughs are a triffing matter.
Before he dozed off to sleep, he tried to think of a way to prove himself useful without the trough. The next morning, Gordon got up a little earlier and made his way to the Knapford Yards. He parked himself by a water tower, guzzling down water to the brim of his tender. He wanted to make sure he had a full tank of water. Morning, Gordon. I heard the main line is gonna get new water troughs. I remember some of the eastern states using some water troughs back in my home, although the geography of the layout was making the water troughs difficult. You must be excited to use the troughs.
On the contrary, I like to prove to those railway inspectors that the water troughs are useless for an engine like me.
Sounds like to me that you forgot Nia's lecture on change. But what do I know? You are a big engine. I'll see you later with my stopping service. It was now time for the express. The coaches were on the platform, the guard blew his whistle, and Gordon started off. He dashed down the main line with much confidence.
I'll show them all.
He saw Robin on the opposite line heading the opposite direction with his boat train trial. And that was when things went wrong. Poor Robin got soaked.
Oops, that didn't sound good.
Gordon arrived at Vicarstown in an embarrassing, sorry state.
Oh dear, James will really have a laugh now, I just know it.
But when he arrived back at Tidmouth Sheds, he was quite surprised to see James remaining respectfully silent, rather than laughing at him.
I heard what happened today with Robin, and I was lectured about the potential dangers of flying lumps of coal shattering glass. I'm sorry about what happened, and I'm sorry for teasing you. Looks like you're right. Those water troughs do sound trifling.
You could thank Emily for the talking sense into him.
Well, I am the part-time safety engine of the railway after all, and knows what's best.
But it looks like they'll be here to stay. Sir Topham Hatt and the railway inspectors agreed to re-timetable our trains to prevent it from happening again.
Gordon was glad that James ended his teasing, which made it easier for him to remember Nia's lecture on change back in 2018.